Taiwan's newly appointed defense minister has told Parliament the island had strengthened deployments in the disputed South China Sea and that the United States has approved the export of sensitive technology to equip Taiwan's new submarine fleet. China, which claims democratic Taiwan as its own, has increased military activity near the island in recent months, seeking to pressure Taipei to accept Beijing's sovereignty. Taiwan has pledged to defend itself. Speaking in Parliament on Wednesday, Defense Minister Chiu Kuo-cheng, who took up his post last month, said Taiwan had increased personnel and armaments stationed on Itu Aba, the main island Taiwan occupies in the South China Sea. Itu Aba, also known as Taiping Island, is the largest naturally occurring island in the Spratlys and is garrisoned by Taiwan's Coast Guard. Chiu told the parliament when asked by a legislator on whether China could attack Taiwan. He say they are capable of starting a war. His goal is for there to be ready at all times. Chiu said Taiwan was bolstering its position at Itu Aba due to China's expansionism in the region, although it was not currently considering a return to a permanent army garrison. China has built man-made islands in the South China Sea and installed air bases on some of them. Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia and Brunei all have competing claims in the waterway. Separately, Chiu said that the United States had approved export permits for all the sensitive equipment needed for Taiwan's first domestically made submarine fleet. Construction on the 8 attack submarines began last November, with the first vessel expected to be completed by 2024. He added that Taiwan's arms purchases from the United States, the island's main source of weapons, had not been affected by the new Biden administration taking office in Washington and were continuing. Taiwan is modernizing its armed forces, especially as it faces almost daily challenges from China in the airspace and waters near the island, including frequent Chinese Air Force missions into Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone. Chiu said the missions were part of China's war of attrition against Taiwan, whose forces are dwarfed by Beijing's, and defense forces were already adjusting on how to deal with such incursions, although did not give details. Meanwhile, Taiwan's Defense Minister Chiu Kuo-cheng said the United States' approved sale of sensitive submarine technologies to the country has not been impacted. Taiwan's Defense Minister Chiu Kuo-cheng on Wednesday said the United States' approved sale of sensitive submarine technologies to the country has not been impacted. Chiu Kuo-cheng, who was speaking to the parliament, assured the House that there have been no changes to the deal between Taiwan and the United States despite the new administration in the White House. According to Taipei Times, Washington had approved the sale of certain defense technologies to Taiwan in December 2020. As per reports, Chiu Kuo-cheng also informed the parliament that Taiwan has increased deployment of personnel and weaponry in the South China Sea to counter Chinese threats, adding that Beijing is capable of starting a conflict anytime. Chinese incursions in the South China Sea have massively increased in the past couple of years, which experts suggest is a move to pressurize Taipei into accepting Beijing's sovereignty over Taiwan. China, which claims Taiwan as its own territory, has threatened to use military force against the small island nation on several occasions. However, Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen, who came into power in 2016 and has since become a massive thorn for China, has repeatedly called for indigenous development of the country's military to counter threats from the communist regime in the north. Taiwan is collaborating with the United States to develop its military and to stand up against Chinese aggression in the region. According to reports, the United States and its allies in the Indo-Pacific have decided to invest heavily on nuclear-powered submarines in order to deter China from attacking Taiwan. China is known for its massive navy, and to gain an upper hand, US and its allies have decided to build and deploy more submarines in the South China Sea as a safeguard for Taiwan. According to reports, Washington is investing about $22 billion to build a new class of submarines to operate in the South China Sea, while Tokyo and Seoul have started the building program of their vessels, with the Japanese submarines already in production. Australia is reportedly planning to add 12 more vessels to its fleet of 6 submarines. Taiwan is investing $16 billion to build at least 8 submarines for its own naval forces, which currently have 4 in its fleet.